Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to the Lawyer Henderson Show. Look at us coming on Saturday like we ain't got no filming to do. Right? Thumbs up, family. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe, family. Don't forget to hit that like button. Okay? Hit me on the Cash App. You know, y'all been giving everybody else money. Y'all should be giving me money, man, because I'll be going hard on these white supremacists as well. And these folks in the LGBT community that is trying to bring down black men. And where's Tyrannosaurus Burke with her old man looking ass? Yes, man. Oh my God, they are going in on the homie Dave Chapelle. Now, Dave Chapelle is a legend. He's a legend, man. He's a legend. But you now got some trans people let's say some people in the trans community who's going to try to cancel him. And Dave basically understands what these people are trying to do to him. You know, he's one of the only comedians, unlike Kevin Hart or all these other folks, who basically has turned money down before. You know, see, they have this, as Judge Joe Brown talked about, the transgender community or the transsexuals or LGBT people, they're only 4% of the population. And they're trying to put this filth out to our kids to basically, because they want to bring their agenda. They want to hijack black people's struggle. And that's what they're all about. And they got this organization called the National Black Justice Coalition. I'm like, who the hell is these fools? The National Black Justice Coalition. I said that they don't have no right to call out a man. Have you noticed that in the entertainment business, they've been going after black men? They've been having music people. They've been having people working in casting agencies. If you want to counsel a black man, you just throw money behind the LGBT community and you throw money behind the people that is helping to get you censored. And a lot of black men have been censored because of the LGBT community. They hate black men because we basically bring real alpha male, you know, we bring something in this society that threatens other races, but it also threatens the LGBT community. This threat of trying to censor Dave Chapelle is an attack on every black man that is heterosexual. And you think that we're going to basically listen to the LGBT community to counsel Dave Chapelle? Are you serious? He is what some call uncancelable. Okay, if you're going to cancel Dave Chapelle, then you should have already canceled Netflix. Dave Chapelle is a legend in the black community. We grew up on Dave. You can basically go back into all of the kind of things, like let's say, for instance, if you were down and out and you was down to your last dollar. Remember when you're back in down with your last dollar and you just needed something to be, laugh at. Especially back in the 90s, you popped in a David Chapelle stand-up comic routine. You understand? So this is a legend. He cannot be canceled. We don't give a damn if the cancellation is coming from white folks. We don't care if it's coming from the LGBT community. We don't care about that. And who the hell? And we know the National Black Justice Coalition's propaganda. We'll get to them in a minute. But let's go ahead and read what's going on. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Now, we do this on the purpose of critiquing things. And the white media and ScrewTube, of course, they basically hate black media because they're so desperate because not only is we're fighting more to get our tangibles, we've gotten rid of the civil rights generation. We're not listening to them no more. We are not listening to the pastors no more. Pastor Porkchop, who keeps selling us out. We're not listening to nobody telling us anything now, and they're upset about it. We're canceling everybody that basically stands in our way for black justice. The LGBT community cannot hijack our struggle and say that somebody has to agree with their agenda. We have a First Amendment right to have humor, regardless of who it is for. Whereas these people and then the news people in the press, when all these black jokes are put out here. But the article from the Daily Beast, it reads, Dave Chapelle backed by family of late transgender comedian Daphne Dorman from The Closer, speaking up. Now, he did this Netflix special, and it was only important that we cover the story here because, of course, everybody else is covering it. And I want to weigh in. I'm Lawyer Henderson TV. You know, people needs to look and just basically just deal with the humor. Deal with the jokes. Deal with all of that. It is very, very funny. And Dave Chapelle did not disappoint. Okay? The family of Daphne Dorman, this article reads, the late transgender comedian who Dave Chapelle highlights in his new Netflix special, The Closer, say he's an LGBTQ ally and meant the world to her, by Cheyenne Roundtree, entertainment reporter, reported on October the 7th, 2021. It didn't take long for Dave Chappelle's 6th Netflix stand-up special, The Closer, which dropped earlier Tuesday morning, to have critics and some fans shaking their head by the afternoon. The 48-year-old was quickly taken to task by the LGBT community and wading into the controversy surrounding rapper DaBaby, who inexplicably spewed homophobic comments during his performance at Miami Rolling Loud Festival over the summer. See, they canceled DaBaby. And when you basically get a lot of folks who wants to bring this propaganda to you, then they are basically is trying to make sure that they got you in their pockets. But see, I think Dave Chapelle turned down $50 million from some some media company that wanted him to do a special. It showed you how he was probably one of the fewest actors or comedians or whoever who is not butt broken by this. And a lot of time we do have a lot of other people who've been butt broken before. When the white media says, well, we're going to take millions of dollars, or some studio take their money. That's the reason why it's important to have black media. It goes on to say that Chappelle also took a stand for Harry Potter author turned anti-trans activist J.K. Rowling. Effectively, she said gender was a fact. The trans community got mad as F. They started calling her a TERF, he said, adding, I am Team TERF. I agree. Man, gender is a fact. I didn't know that they canceled Harry Potter's author J.K. Rowling, who is, I think it's a billionaire, though. And as he began to close the show out, Chappelle launched into a story about his friend and fellow comedian Daphne Dorman, a transgender woman he struck up a friendship with after bonding over their shared humor and their ability to have an open conversation about identity. He had previously referred to their friendship in his 2019 Netflix special Sticks and Stones, credited Dorman for defending him against similar admonishments after some of his jokes in the set were labeled transphobic. You see, they done come up with all kinds of words: homophobic, transphobic, blaphobic, wah-phobic. And you're like, dude, y'all need to stop bringing y'all trash up on us. As black, heterosexual black men, we don't give a damn about who you sleeping in the bed with. As Judge Joe Brown said, we have a First Amendment right for humor. You know, if we want humor, we have a First Amendment right basically to tell jokes. Okay. And, you know, y'all got to just basically just, you know, y'all want to be, you know, women. You know, we don't have anything to do with that. We just want y'all to stop putting this filth on our children, though. It goes on to say that the crowd let out a slight gasp when Chappelle stated that Dorman had taken her own life in October 2019, a few weeks after sticking up for him online. I don't know what trans community did for her, Chappelle said, but I don't care because I felt like she wasn't their tribe. She was mine. She was a comedian in her soul. Chappelle finished the show by declaring he'd be hitting pause on jokes about the LGBT community until he and the LGBT community could both be laughing together again. I'm telling you, it's done. I'm done talking about it, he concluded. All I ask for the community with all the humility, will you please stop punching down on my people? That's it. That's exactly the point here that Dave was making. You all are attacking and trying to hijack Black people's struggle, their civil rights. Well, hell, it should be civil rights, should be human rights. We are basically out here trying to survive because the white supremacist is always at us. So we're trying to survive. The police, you know, brutality, killings of our people. We got a real live struggle. And because y'all come in and pay, and white folks and other people pay certain types of folks, including Black LGBT people, money, leave your filth. We don't care about who you having sex with. Just leave your filth to yourself. This is propaganda that has been placed upon our kids. And that's concerning. It goes on to say here that, and while some voice concern that Chappelle may be using his relationship as a cheap get out of jail free card to validate his earlier line of commentary, Dorman's family believes that she should be no offense taken, for they certainly aren't. Two of Dorman's sisters told the Daily Beast that they were outraged at the suggestion that Chappelle's set was transforming or derogatory towards the LGBT community, saying they wanted to make clear that they supported the comedian. You see, the Dorman family is coming out. His two sisters is already saying that they support Dave Chappelle. See, the LGBT people have to come after. They have to get Black allies. They have to put money into these allies, and so that they can spew there. They've taken over, as Judge Joe Brown said, they've taken over the news media. They've taken over television, and they're trying to put their filth into people's mind. No one cares about you having sex with another man, or wants to be gay, or want to change your lifestyle as a woman. Nobody cares. Or a woman trying to change her lifestyle as a man. Okay, that's your prerogative. But don't basically try to put that on to people who do not want that on them. It goes on to say I can't even talk, in quotes, that Daphne was in awe of Dave's graciousness. Dorman's sister Becky wrote in a text she did not find his jokes rude, crude, off-coloring, off-putting, anything. She thought his jokes were funny. Daphne understood humor and comedy. She was not offended. Why would her family be offended? Dave loved my sister and is an LGBTQ ally. Dorman's younger sister Brandy added in a text message, his entire set was begging to end this very situation. At this point, I felt like he poured his heart out in the special, and no one noticed, Brandy wrote in a separate Facebook post. What he's saying to the LGBTQ family is, I see you. Do you see me? I'm mourning my friend in the best way I know how. Can you see me? Can you allow me that? This is what called to come together, that two oppressed factions of our nation put down their keyboards and make peace. How sad that this message was lost in translation. Dorman, a San Francisco-based activist, software engineer, and aspiring actress, had met Chappelle on the comedy circuit. He recalled in a hidden extra of Stick and Stones that Dorman had been laughing the hardest at some of his jokes that many deemed transphobic. So you see, they done made up another word for themselves. Goes on to say that the two develop a friendship, with Chappelle offering to give Dorman pointers as she launched her stand-up career, even inviting her to an open show for him while he was in San Francisco. Okay. Thrilled by the shout out in Sticks and Stones, Dorman confirmed in an Instagram post that she was the woman Chappelle was talking about, happily freaking out that her photo appeared after former President Obama's photo. Okay. But at the backlash against Chappelle grew, Dorman felt moved to speak out. Punching down requires you to consider yourself as superior to another group. He doesn't consider himself better than me in any way. He isn't punching up or punching down. He's punching lines. That's his job, and he's a master of it. Crap, she wrote, a line Chappelle repeated in The Closer. Dorman took her own life on October 11, 2019, at the age of 44, and The Closer was released a few days shy of the second anniversary of her passing. Two of those, you who are mad at me, please forgive me, she had written in a final Facebook post. To those of you who wondered if you failed me, you didn't. To those of you feel like I failed you, I did, and I'm sorry, and I hope you remember me in better times and better light. Becky wanted to make clear that her family does not blame Dorman's death on Chappelle after she committed suicide. All I saw all over social media was Dave Chapelle bashing. She said, I commented, as he said, bashing. Yeah, she said, I commented on so many posts, which is something I do not do. I commented to defend Dave. Okay. So it goes on to say that, he met this transgender woman who did an opening act for him in San Francisco. Now, the transgender community basically probably didn't know that she had opened up, and they probably did, but this is another way for them to continue to put out their filth. They trying to basically, to make sure it's just jab packed into y'all mentality until y'all start to take this stuff on. And that's what their agenda is. That's what their agenda is. And this propaganda is now feeding into our children, where they got cartoons of LGBT cartoons out. They got gay cartoons. They got homophobic stuff out here. Folks, this is getting serious. These cartoons and books and stuff like that, where these white millionaires and billionaires is putting this filth out here, this is their only scheme, because, see, they have no other play. It goes on to say here that no one knows what life was like for my siblings and I, she added. We are products of how we were brought up. Dave was the biggest bright spot for Daphne. She was in norm for the first time. Blaming Dave is beyond the wrong thing to do. He helped her and let her be comfortable while talking with him. She had many demons. Dave Chappelle was not one of them. Becky confirmed that over the summer, Chappelle had finalized setting up a college fund for Dorman's younger daughter, adding that she had planned to watch her special later that night. I saw his first special and was thrilled for my sister, and even more so after we got to talk about it together, she wrote. The man loved my sister and felt empathy towards her human experience. And yes, he made terrible jokes that are also funny, Brandon added in her Facebook post. Newsflash, our whole family does that. Our funerals are laughter through tears. We mourn by remembering the time we laughed together, and yes, some inappropriate humor too. As often as Dave stand up for Daphne, we will be there for Dave. This man is our tribe, and we mourn alongside him. Now, and that was the end of that. Now, apparently, they did not call the National Black Justice Coalition because these Negroes has been paid by everybody to promote their little propaganda talking about that there's some type of justice for black folks. And let me just tell you about what this propaganda is about. You see, no organization created for black people actually helped black folks. I think we already know that. I think we already know where this is going. And this organization's been out since 2003. And it's like, where have y'all been for all of the police shootings and killings of black folks? And y'all gonna call yourself the National Black Justice Coalition? Really? Y'all basically are all about LGBT. We already know that. We looked at your website. Your website tells it all, National Black Justice Coalition. Let's see who is your donors, National Black Justice Coalition. Let's see who is your donors here. Because if Black Lives Matter, let's see who you got. You see, with a real black alpha man, you cannot put this filth on us, but you have to then bash us in your white supremacist media. This is the only way that you can do it. But let's see who is your media, who's investing in the National Black Justice Coalition. And you can't get no money from white folks unless you talk that LGBT stuff. Let's see who is this. Oh wow, the National Education Association. Y'all put money into the National Black Justice Coalition. Why, it is the Cartoon Network. Y'all put and donated some money to the National Black Justice Coalition. And let's scroll down. Let's see who we have. Why, it is what? Sony Music. Sony Music. Sony Music, you're one of the investors of the National Black Justice Coalition. And wait. We got one more here. Wait a minute now. Who is that? Why, it's Planned Parenthood. Oh my God. You mean the organization that was behind killing and helping to black women abort millions of babies? Planned Parenthood is one of y'all little old donors, huh? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So no wonder why the National Black Justice Coalition got all of this press. It goes on to say here that the National Black Coalition is using the word grass. Let me look at this. It says create your own fundraiser to support National Black Justice Coalition. No. It goes on the right here on their website that the National Black Justice Coalitions connect the grass tops of the grassroots authentically. The organizations is equipped with target messaging and data that brings voice, builds network, and take action on behalf of a Black LGBT SGL community. I don't know what that means, SGL, but the NBJC strategy advocacy efforts have historically focused on the impact of federal public policy on the lives of Black LGBT SGL people and Black America as a whole. The organization's cornerstone issues are health and wellness, HIV awareness and prevention, safe and exclusive schools, employment, non-discrimination, relationship and family recognition, anti-violence, and economic justice. Currently, there's 6,035 donors. I wonder from who. Now, that's the problem right there. This is what the NAACP does. This is what the Urban League. Why is it with Black folks, y'all Negroes always talking about the same thing? Oh, and we're going for Black people. We're going to give y'all some employment and non-discrimination and economic justice and violence. What do economic justice mean, though? Anti-violence from who, though? Safe and exclusive schools. What about these schools that are not teaching our children anything? You see, this is why y'all get so much money from white folks, because they know that y'all organization is going to be ineffective. It's going to be irrelevant to our community. And let me get on off of that, because let's look at who, now they're cutting off my screen here. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. We're going in on you here. We're going in on you. So Dave Chapelle did not do anything wrong. And then I heard that the National Black Justice Coalition has Benjamin Crump on their little leadership board. It's a mess. It's a mess. I don't think that we should basically see in the Black community, we've always taught you that it's not your sexual preference that we're trying to get justice on. But by being Black as a whole is the problem that we have. We have problems doing regular stuff. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. We have problems just by walking down the street, and here come the police attacking us for no reason, racially profiling us. We don't have time to talk about what goes on in your bedroom. We have problems as Black people dealing with real issues. Black people being assaulted by these white supremacists, the criminal justice system, so-called, the racist district attorneys. We have real issues, businesses in our community that needs funding. We have to deal with a racist president in office now. We got real issues just to be talking about your sexuality. It goes on to say that if some people had tweeted here, like NPR, is NPR relevant here? Is they trying to make some type of name for themselves? We know that NPR has been basically a white supremacist news media organization. All of a sudden, NPR has brought debate. TMZ has brought debate. It goes on to say from NPR, they tweeted out saying, and I quote, "In his new Netflix special, Dave Chapelle tries and often fails to justify button-pushing jokes about gay people, trans people, and feminists, writes NPR critic Eric Diggins. First of all, Eric Diggins, Dave Chapelle does great punchlines that are funny. Okay, Eric Diggins, whatever you how you said his fool's last name, Eric Diggins, and NPR, y'all not relevant. Just like Dave said about Twitter, Twitter's not relevant either. NPR, you're not relevant either. Who gives a damn what y'all think over there at NPR? Dave Chappelle is one of the only black heterosexual comedians that do great punchlines. And don't you dare try to disrespect his name. You fools and clowns over there at NPR, y'all have not been relevant since the 80s, man. Y'all have been basically out of touch with real news media. You understand? Jacqueline Moore says, I love so many of people I've worked with at Netflix, brilliant people and executives who have been collaborative and fought for important art. But I've been thrown against walls because I'm not a real woman. I had beer bottles thrown at me. So Netflix, I'm done. Okay. So Netflix basically don't get a lot of its subscribers or subscription from a lot of white people that are that basically think that we're being anti-gay. Let's basically make it clear. Netflix is number one in the streaming business game. You understand? And the thing is, even though they had their little racial discrimination suit against, with Monique sued them, the comedian Monique sued them, Netflix basically is very popular and basically will continue to go on because a lot of black folks, I was on the airplane not too long ago, okay, coming back, going to Los Angeles and going back from Los Angeles. And those times that you're on an airplane and you're just sitting there and you're up in the air, you ain't got nothing to do, you know what I'm saying? Besides listening to your music, what movies can you download? Well, Netflix, basically. And you might say Pluto TV or something like that, but people are going to look at Netflix, okay? Your kids won't be quiet and stuff of that nature. You're on a road trip. They're going to download something on Netflix. That's why Netflix is very popular. Black folks also have subscription with Netflix, moreover than any other platform such as Hulu or Pluto TV or iTunes. Okay, that's why Netflix basically, with their game plan. In fact, in a new book I'm doing regarding the industry of film and television, we talk about Netflix. We're talking about a DVD service of mailing DVD movies to your home, how that basically is how they built this billion-dollar industry here. So you're just not going to counsel people just because you think that your little 4% in the LGBT community is going to counsel a streaming service who basically were a genius and DVD rental subscriptions, door-to-door mail-in DVDs. Nobody thought of that ideal until Netflix thought of that. So that's the reason why it became the popular streaming service it is now. When people used to go to Blockbusters, people didn't think Netflix was going to take over like that. When you used to go to Blockbusters, you were like the hell with net. You didn't even know what Netflix was. And then here comes Netflix. And the computers the internet start coming around where we had access to DVD services. And now Netflix is taking over. And Blockbuster have went out of business. And even when they had their little box, the streaming box where you go and get some DVDs or whatever, like you do with what you call that, Red something, I forget that, Redbox. Yeah, Redbox. So these people who talking about, oh, well, you should cancel Netflix. Yeah, if you're going to cancel Dave Chapelle, you can go ahead and cancel Netflix. But I don't think that you basically have the power to, to basically break Dave Chapelle. He's not as butt broken as other actors is. He's not as butt broken as a lot of other black male comedians and actors are. He's a little bit different. And the reason why is because he mentioned the grassroots black folks. That's very important to anybody who think that they're going to counsel an actor that mentioned us. That's where you white folks are going to have a problem with. Are you transgender? Are you what you call them LGBTQ people? Goes on to say here that this Jacqueline Moore claims that she will not work with them as long as they continue to put out and profit from blatantly and dangerously transphobic content. Who the hell is Jacqueline P. Moore any damn way? Let's see here. So we got these types of tweets. And remember, a lot of people who is basically upset about this, it's just people who just not really, who don't have, nobody care about them. They're trying to bring an agenda that nobody cares about. And we also says, and like I said, we also said, we don't want this crap up on the young minds. We don't want this feeding into the young mind, because we got serious issues in the black community. This is for us. This is standing in our way. Okay. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. We're going to continue to talk about this. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. I wanted to also talk about how how Dave Chapelle is, quote unquote, handling this. Okay. I think that he basically, so far, and I don't want to, jump to the gun, because a lot of people have received backlash, like the baby who's been canceled. They basically was easy to apologize. I don't know if the baby apologized, but I know that you have a lot of people who, like, what's his name, Nick Cannon, who had to apologize to the Jews and stuff like that. I think people basically, it's just looking at this money. People before, when they was about to get canceled, looking at the money, oh, that's $50 million, or this is $10 million. Should I basically apologize? Should I be butt broken? Should I just go ahead and because the money looked good? You see, that's what a lot of people do. They go because they basically apologize because the money is good, because they see themselves, back working at McDonald's or whatever they were doing beforehand, working at some bar or something. They don't want to go back to doing that. They don't want to be broke and butt broken, so they go ahead and apologize. But family, if we had the money to produce our own media, then we wouldn't have to basically rely on these folks. And that's what we're talking about here on Lawyer Henderson TV. We talk about it a lot, that we need our own media so that we basically can support our comedians ourselves. If we can't support our comedians ourselves, or even our media in general, then we're going to keep on relying upon these folks, and they're going to keep on trying to butt break us talking about you got to put on a dress in Hollywood like Hollywood do, and talk about we should basically, fall a victim to their propaganda and to promote this filth in the industry, or to basically promote the LGBT agenda. So we have to look at what's going on. Are we going to basically stand on principle as black men, heterosexual black men? Or are we going to let these people butt break us? That's the question now for black men. In fact, we don't have to participate in anything that they do. And every time we do so, this happens. You get a lot of people coming out talking this crap, and that's because we have not really stood up and did nothing about it. What Dave Chapelle, like Judge Joe Brown said, nobody is exempt from being joked about. Whether you gay, straight, whether you black, white, Asian, Mexican, Latino, whatever, nobody is exempt from that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get joked. There's jokes that everybody has to deal with one time or another. That's what protects us as far as our freedom of speech. In the gay community, in the LGBT community, show is not exempt from it. Show not exempt from it. And who the hell is the National Black Justice Coalition? These idiots, basically, no one knew about them. They come out here basically every time a heterosexual black man come out to talk about discrimination against black folks. Here, these people come out wanting to push their propaganda because they know it's going to be a large, massive crowd when the black heterosexual men leads organizations against discrimination, which is a real issue that we're dealing with. You see, you people in the LGBT community, y'all just piggyback on our struggle as far as us coming out to fight off these white supremacists and these police officers who are killing our babies in the streets. Y'all come there to piggyback on that. The National Black Justice Coalition has Ben Crump as one of their supporters. It also has Sony Music. Listen here. These people got this agenda going not only because of that, because you have to look at the sick reason why they want to put an LGBT cartoon in your kid's living room. You got to look at what is going on here. Because there's pedophilia going on in Hollywood as well. The pedophilia that's going on in certain types of communities, especially the LGBT community, they want us not to basically look at that. That's why they were so hard to push R. Kelly. He's sleeping with underage girls. R. Kelly sleeping with underage girls because it is a promotion for them. Everybody has an agenda against black folks because black people basically is accepting to everybody's so-called problems. And I think one of the things that we have to look at, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that the National Black Justice Coalition, if you look at their website, just look at their website. Everything that they talk about is LGBT, gay, HIV/AIDS awareness. We talk about non-discrimination in schools, blah, 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 this. Every organization that we see that black people have, it's always talking about the same kind of stuff. And if you look at the donors, which is mostly white, you'll see that we're not going to get nothing done because we have the wrong agenda. We have the wrong platform. Nobody is saying, oh, hey, you can't sleep with another woman in your bed. Nobody is saying that. You do what you want to do. But don't bring that to us. Don't bring that to people in the public who do not want to deal with that foolishness. Like I said earlier, we're dealing with real issues in the LGBT. We're dealing with real issues in our community, and the LGBT community's agenda is not our agenda in our community. Their stuff is not what we want in our community. And so putting money behind Black folks who are in the LGBT community and thinking that that's going to be what we're concerned about as Black men and women, no, that propaganda has to leave. Sean King writes here in the chat room, well, LGBT has its foot in everything. Who do you think running the music industry? Yeah, I just told you that Sony Music has donated to the National Black Justice Coalition, Sean. They're putting it out who their sponsors are. They got Sony Music, who owe R. Kelly millions of dollars, who owes Michael Jackson money. Sony Music put out this propaganda, but not only the music industry, the film industry do too. These major casting agencies are also behind this. And what we have to understand as Black folks is I'm just sick and tired of us falling for the propaganda, because we have not been educated on what these folks is about. There's Black folks dying in the street, and we're talking about who you want to turn into from a man to be a woman. Okay, well, go do what you do and leave us alone and leave us out of it. We don't want you to put that stuff in our kids' face. Okay, and the fact of the matter is that these rich white men are behind this stuff, who basically are sitting on billions of dollars, saying, well, we're going to promote this in your community. And yeah, this cartoon here, man, this cartoon, this is an LGBT coloring book. Okay, they're trying to get our kids young, man. And anybody basically who tells a joke about film, the gay community, the LGBT community, they're offended. Listen here. We don't care about what y'all think. We're going to continue to fight for justice and against white supremacy, because the white supremacists, they owe us for 465 years of slavery. They owe us justice for this criminal justice reform. And that's what we're pushing for. We're pushing for real issues in the Black community, because as Black men, we try to protect and defend everybody. You understand? We try to protect and defend every person in the Black community, regardless of their sexual orientation, because it's not about that. Okay? You're trying to fight for a situation where you want to sleep and lay down with another man or another woman. Hell, we're trying to fight for our damn survival. Hell, we're getting shooting, killed out there in these streets. And hell, y'all up here talking about, well, we should be fighting for who we should be sleeping with. No. We have white supremacists on our backs. We don't have time to talk about who you want to go and sleep with and dress up in dresses and stuff like that. We don't have time for that crowd. We have a real life situation of survivor going on with these white supremacists. And we will continue that fight and speak truth to power. And we know that ScrewTube is going to look at this and take it down. But let me just tell you something. Don't worry about ScrewTube, because in a minute, ScrewTube is going to be sued. And we're going to make sure that our freedom of speech is protected. And just like we're going to be protecting Dave Chapelle and his right to be humorous against the LGBT community, because I don't think he said anything wrong. He was just talking. Even the family of this one, of this transgender person, has said he didn't say anything wrong. So what makes you all think that y'all going to use this propaganda to bring your filth back into our children's television again? No, we're not going to let it happen. Sean Keen in the chat room goes on to say that black media page such as Baller Alert and Hollywood Unlock is very toxic. Of course it is. And then he said D.L. Hughley defended LGBT from Dave Chapelle. D.L. Hughley, he goes wherever the wind goes, Sean. D.L. Hughley talked about the gay community. He received, I think, a black backlash. And now that's the reason why, because his butter biscuits ran out, the calls are on stop for him. The calls on stop for him. That's the reason why he got that little small radio program, or hell, he's like in a closet like Roly Poly Martin over there, trying to do podcasts like us now with the small people, because for him the calls has stopped. You see, they basically strategically blackballed him, and he didn't know it. And then he's out there rooting for your boy Joe Biden, talking about what Joe cannot do anything for us because he's not the president. He can't make promises. Well, hell, he's made promises to everybody else. He made promises to the Afghanistans, giving them millions of dollars. They got an accumulation of billions of dollars, man. And now they want to come into the United States, and has come to the United States. And now they saw refugees in community and still get money to be here. And when they already got billions of dollars in Afghanistan. Your boy Joe Biden is all over the place. This is the worst president we've ever had, man. And then you cannot even put this man. You can put this man next to Thomas Jefferson. Both of their family owned slaves, according to geologists. We got to be able to understand the propaganda. Of course, let me finish here, wrapping up. Sony Music, of course, as I told you, in R. Kelly's case, they have what we call a propaganda a family within their organization. And the propaganda, I think Pop Smoke, remember the rapper Pop Smoke? I think he's from Sony. He was his label was in Sony. Have you noticed from Sony Music? I want to piggyback on the R. Kelly thing for a minute. Have you noticed that every person who is with these major labels, these major record companies like Sony, BMI, I think with BMI, I don't know if they're still around, Capitol Music, Arista, I don't know if some of these labels may be gone now, Interscope, have you noticed that all of these record labels have certain types of situations where they tell the artist, go out there and get in trouble, go get a weapons charge, go do this, go do that. Then you have them going out and getting that, and they're in jail for 6 months, a year, 2 years and stuff. Their records are selling because they basically want to help themselves to sell music. And then they get screwed by the same record company who told them to do this foolishness. And then you're like, wait a minute, where's their money? Like R. Kelly, for instance. Have you noticed they kept saying, underage girls, underage girls, underage girls? But you noticed that they didn't arrest him for pedophilia. You know why? Because some of the states, these sick lawmakers made the age of consent 16 or 17. That's the reason why they couldn't arrest him for pedophilia. You understand? And you black folks keep on jumping to conclusion. Now, I'm not saying that that's right. That's immoral because these young girls is not developed. But he broke no law. So they use propaganda. And people are saying on my last comment, oh, Sony Music wasn't behind that. You better believe Sony Music was behind that crap, man. Sony Music was also behind the killing of Michael Jackson. Because y'all got to understand something. Y'all in the music industry, you are worth more dead than alive. And let me tell you something. You are, as long as you're doing something like what Jay-Z is doing, you're worth $5 or $6 million, and you're not basically, you're doing everything that they want you to do, and you're not helping the black community. You're not putting anything into the black community. You're not calling them out, doing anything. Oh, you is what Dr. Claude Anderson called a safe Negro. Okay. Now let's look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson owned part of the Beatles when he was alive. He had one of the Beatles that he was a part of. I mean, he owned ownership, so he practically owned part of Sony. Okay, so people are saying, "Oh, you need to see y'all getting some of these conspiracy theories here. See, y'all need to stop all that conspiracy theories there now." You see, you got to understand the music industry is very dangerous. The film industry, as I told you, is a little bit different. The film industry is more about like this propaganda with the LGBT community. Sony Music is donating to the Justice League for what? Because Sony basically support the gay agenda, so they basically can undermine the black agenda. So of course they're going to invest in that. So now people are saying, damn, I wish Trump was here. I wish Trump was in office, because one thing that Trump was doing, Trump was telling Dr. Fauci about the vaccine. We'll call it Vax, okay? We're not giving disinformation. But President Trump wanted to tell people, hey, a minute, we have to wait to see if these vaccines are safe or whatever. Trump was also going to take some of Ice Cube plans, and the folks behind closed doors that actually run the country, they were like, no, we can't give black folks anything. See, this is the issue that we're having in America. Why is these people not wanting black people to have economic power? You got to understand the reason as to why they don't want us to have economic power, man. Why is it that they hate for black people to be put in a great financial situation? You understand? And so therefore, Sony Music and Sony Films, I would say mostly Sony Music. I won't blame necessarily the movie industry, but they're all in cahoots. But they basically will tell artists simply, go out there and get in trouble. And they also have this agenda with the LGBT community. And like I said, they basically put money behind the LGBT community so that the LGBT community can go after heterosexual black men. That's the reason why R. Kelly is in trouble. Bill Cosby is in trouble. What's his name? Cuba Gooding Jr. Remember, y'all go back and look at the commentary I did on Cuba Gooding Jr. Here is a brilliant black man who is still, after making millions of dollars, dating trashy white women. Now, if I'm going to date a white woman, okay, if I'm going to date a white woman, folks, I couldn't see myself with a trashy white woman. This man got millions of dollars, man, and he's still dealing with trashy white women. And then wonder why he has to pay out money. I'm not saying that if he got with a Marilyn Street, or however you say her name, or a Jennifer Aniston, I'm not saying that he will not still face these troubles. But the bottom line is, if I'm going to waste money on some white woman, she better be looking good. You understand? No, but I like my beautiful black women. And the thing about that is that it's just that it's so hard to get them to understand what you understand, to reason with them, because we have two different educations. Black women are in colleges, black men, we're struggling. So We're going to get most of our information by self-education in the books, in the library, or something that we basically got knowledge for other people. That's two different educations. You understand? We don't have the same education. That's the reason why sometimes you can't reason with our women. But here's the thing. We have to understand that they hate black men. The whole thing about what's going on, they hate us because we alpha. They hate us because we are the original people. They hate us because we're black. They hate us because we show a personification of masculinity. And with that, man, they basically cannot stand that. They cannot stand this. And it's mostly some of the black women who are gay or in the LGBT community. Just look at who they put in these offices. Let's look at the executive director of the National Black Justice Coalition. Go look at that website and see who that is. She's some old gray-haired woman who basically, didn't have no black man wanting her. You see? And that hatred came into her mentality to say that I'm going to get you back. You have certain types of black women who basically the reason why they went into the LGBT community is because they were basically was rejected by men. And in that rejection, they saw themselves as being unattractive. And so if one black man put them down or did them wrong, now they are seeking alternatives. Okay. And the alternative is to become a part of the LGBT community or to do something else, or to interracially date. Okay. Your preference. Okay. But we basically see the problem here. And why Screw 2 basically is encroaching and also infringing upon our constitutional rights of free speech. The thing about this is that everybody get joked on. Black folks, we get joked on all the time. We are the main people who get joked on. This, what the LGBT is talking about, this is nothing. And they blew it all out of proportion. And then here comes the trans woman's family saying, we respect Dave Chapelle. And the LGBT community, y'all got it all wrong. We respect what he said. Because this woman thought that Dave was funny, as we all do. So to wrap this up, to go back what I said, there is not going to be no canceling of Dave Chapelle. Whether it be from Screw 2, whether it be from the LGBTQ community, we will find ways to watch a Dave Chapelle comedy show. We will pay tickets to go see Dave Chapelle in his comedy routine. You see, the reason why the LGBT, and I'm almost finished here, the reason why y'all hate Dave Chapelle is because y'all can't use money on him, just like you did these other comedians. Y'all can't use your $50 million against a black man who is not butt broken and who really don't need your money, if you ask me. He's worth a lot of money already. And canceling him, he can do shows in black neighborhoods. And even if Netflix was never, ever, ever created, I think he'll be able to fill up shows like the Apollo. He'll be able to go to other places and do comedy routine. There's no cancellation. Even white folks are saying this. There's no cancellation of Dave Chapelle, man. It's just not. So you people in the LGBT community, go back in and go to wherever little hole y'all was coming out of, and stop your propaganda with us. We're sick and tired of it. You've been oversensitive, and it's getting out of line here. And we're sick and tired of it now. And y'all doing this because you Jim Joe Crow Biden in office. But if you had Trump in office, you wasn't gonna get that far. Because when the Republicans are in office, everybody get that work, not just black folks. Everybody know who they are, because the Republicans, they'll let you know who they, what they think about everybody. And so that's what Malcolm said. I'm with Malcolm. Malcolm said, I'd rather let a man know where he's, let me know where he stand, and take some old phony who is nothing but a devil. If you have not visit us here on our YouTube page, go back and listen to some of our commentary. We're basically is going to have the website with all of our other videos will be put on the YouTube streaming service. And we also going to be on Anchor and Spotify. Man, we're moving on up. And I'm not saying that we're getting bougie on you. Screw2 basically is trying to cancel us. But we're growing an audience, ladies and gentlemen. We're in our website. People saying you don't have no website so we can donate to you. You don't even have a Patreon page. Okay, well, calm down. I'm getting one. We are bringing the funk, man. And that's the reason why you have to listen to Real Black Media, man. If you're not going to listen to Real Black Media, then there's no point of you listening to the news. You understand? I am your host, your brother, your friend to the end. And thank you for watching us, the Lawyer Henderson podcast show.